Okay, hello Emily. This is a tutorial on hot cocoa bombs. Okay, it's pretty easy. It's kind of annoying because it's kind of messy, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of addictive. Once you do 2 of them, you kind of want to do them all. But you have to have specific molds. Actually, these aren't the ones you actually use for hot cocoa bombs, but these are ones we got from Bed Bath & Beyond for ice cube molds. I have some actual ones in my bedroom. I might show you in a bit, but we've tried lots of different kinds, and these ones and the actual ones are the only ones that work because they have to be flexible and bendy so you can pop the chocolate molds out when they're done. And you're gonna need chocolate almond bark or chocolate melt or milk chocolate chips or really whatever chocolate you want. But the almond bark is easier because it's really cheap, and also if you are making 1 hot cocoa bomb is equal to 1 of these, roughly. 1 little almond bark square, so it's easier to measure that way. And so you don't heat up a whole bunch of chocolate and then you're like, well, what do I do with the rest of this chocolate? So this is much easier to figure out. So you're just gonna use a knife and cut, well, I'm gonna make 4 of them, so I'm just gonna cut, well actually no, wait, let me see here. Yeah, no, I'll be making 4 of them, so I'm gonna cut 4 pieces of almond bark off of this big chunk and putting it in a bowl and microwaving it for 30-second intervals and stirring it until it is completely smooth. Okay, so here's my completely smooth chocolate, and I'm going to take one of these and I'm going to scoop a good amount of the chocolate into one of the molds and then some more into the other. I'm going to spread it around with the spoon, and I'll lift the camera up here in a second so you can see the inside. You have to make sure it coats all the way around. And to the other one. Need a little more. You also don't want to put too much in because then it'll all pool to the bottom, and that's not what you want. This is what they should look like. Now I'm gonna do the 3 others. I'm gonna put all 4 of the molds into the freezer for 5 minutes, and then I will take one of them out at a time. Okay, so it's been 5 minutes and your mold should be pretty hard, and what you're gonna do is just do another coating of the chocolate on all 4 of them. Okay, so in the meantime, while they're freezing for the 2nd time, you're gonna want to get 2 plates, probably 2 bigger plates, and I mean, they can be smaller because you're only doing 1 at a time. That way the rest of them can stay in the freezer and stay hard instead of out here where they might get a little warmer, especially if your heater's on. And what you're gonna do is, once the 5 minutes are almost over, you're gonna take one of the plates and put it in the microwave for like a minute. And when you take it out, it's probably gonna be pretty hot. So I've learned that the hard way. I guess I should have known that before taking it out and just should have assumed. Some other ingredients or things you need are hot cocoa mix. It can be any kind you want. Mini marshmallows and sprinkles. Okay, my first hot cocoa bomb the mold is done freezing. And so I'm going to pop one of the sides out very gently, I mean, as gently as you can be. And I'm gonna pop the other side out. And that's a size. And then you're gonna put both of them on the hot plate I have over here. Can't really see it. And you're gonna swirl them around a little bit, and then you're gonna want to keep one of them on the hot plate and remove one of them and bring it over here. And you have to be really quick. Take the lid off and put about a spoonful of hot cocoa mix into this half. A handful, well, sort of a handful of marshmallows. Some of them will fall out, they're just not gonna all fit, you know. And then you're gonna take the other half of your hot cocoa bomb and, oh, kind of tricky sometimes. Sometimes they like to stick to the marshmallows. And you're gonna smush it together gently and then kind of lightly rub the outside of the hot cocoa bomb. And you're even gonna take some of the melted chocolate from this plate and dab it on your finger. This is what I do at least, and kind of blend the seam in, or try to do that. And sometimes it works good, sometimes it doesn't. And in the instance that it doesn't work good, I have this squirty bottle that you put melted chocolate into, or at least you put chocolate into it and then you put it in the microwave and melt it, and then you can squeeze melted chocolate around the outside and then cover it in sprinkles and roll the outside in sprinkles, and then it covers up the seam. But I don't usually do that because I'm lazy, so. And I'm almost done here. Just dabbing a little bit at a time. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's pretty good. As long as you're careful and meticulous, it should be pretty successful. So here it is. The lighting's not super awesome over here, but here is my first hot cocoa bomb. And now I'm gonna do the same to the 3 others. To store them would either be on like a small plate if you're making 4 of them in like little muffin tins, or I have these packages here that I sell mine in. Now that your hot cocoa bombs are sealed, you're gonna take the chocolate that you didn't use, or if you used all of it, because you know it should, like I said earlier, the 4 almond bark squares should make 4 hot cocoa bombs, but if they don't, usually mine make about that amount, but sometimes there's a little less. Right now I have a little left of the chocolate, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it on a spoon and like kind of glob it on top. You can be a lot more creative with this. You can put like chocolate in what is it called, a piping bag, and make like a little hole and use it on here and make fun swirls. But now we use the sprinkles, and you just do that. And I'll do it to the 3 others. Voila, there they are. You want to store the hot cocoa bombs in a room temperature place, somewhere where the heater isn't running, but also not where it's super cold. Like, you don't want to put these in the fridge because otherwise they'll crack. But you don't want to keep them in the heat, obviously, otherwise they'll melt. So I keep mine in our garage. And also another thing, in between making the hot cocoa bombs, each time you take like another hot cocoa bomb out of the freezer to put the hot cocoa in it and the marshmallows, you may need to reheat the plate you use to melt the bottoms of the molds, because by the time you get another one out, it will have cooled a little bit. I was able to use it once, and then I reheated it one more time for the next 3, so it really just depends on how quick you are. I think that's all. Hopefully you enjoyed the tutorial.